Before we address anybody from the public, I'd like to, I need an amendment for the agenda, so I forgot to have Barb put it on there for about appointing a council member tonight, so.
Make that motion.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
You second it? Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried.
I'll do it now. Got one letter.
Yeah, we only,
She doesn't have to be sworn tonight.
yeah, I mean, we can appoint her. It's
She just won't be able to vote on anything.
We got for the borough council members, that Annie Wolf would like to be considered for a candidate to be appointed to the vacant spot. So, anybody would like to make a motion on that?
I'll motion.
Second.
Okay, motion by Frank, seconded by Brett.
Aye.
Anybody? Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. It was Monday, right?
Yeah, all day.
Is Annie Wolf here?
Right there?
Oh,
Annie, you come on down and just, you'll be able to,
well, I didn't know, you know.
you won't be able to vote on anything. You can put your opinions in and stuff. Okay, anybody wishing to address council, to remind you, you have a 5-minute time period for your part, so who would like to address council? Kelly?
Just a reminder, we have a blood drive on Friday. I've notified all the entities that could be impacted, because they do take over the front area of the fire hall parking lot. It was well attended last time, so I'm just giving a heads up to the council as well. I have reached out to the library, to members of the council, as well as the fire department, just to confirm that everybody for parking, for volunteers, even the senior center, just to make sure that we're not impacting anybody that day. I'd appreciate if everybody in this room also got to donate that blood too, for those of us.
Blood bank or Red Cross?
This is the community blood bank, and they service, they are the sole providers of blood for Kane, Hammett, and 11 other UPMC locations, so the blood you donate here stays here. I addressed for Spring Fling for May 17th, just a heads up again for traffic going through town. Just be aware of that. We will have vendors and food at here, and then yard sales throughout town, so just be aware of that for traffic.
When is that?
That is May 17th, Saturday, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then, I think that's it for the fair.
When's the blood drive, Kelly?
Blood drive is Friday, May 9th, from 1 to 6 p.m.
Does it have to be our own blood, or can I donate Brett's?
Oh, negative, it works.
Yeah. We would appreciate any blood, I guess, as long as it's from a person.
Don't bring it in a bucket?
I don't think so. I guess it has to be an approved bucket if you wish to bring it in a bucket. And that is all. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else to wish to address council?
Any new developments on the sale of the sewer?
Nope.
Who does the corresponding with them? Is that you, Brett?
Well, there hasn't been any.
Pardon me?
There hasn't been any
I know, but if there is any,
between Barb and myself.
Borough office they do, and then they'll contact him also.
yeah, okay.
Anybody else to address council?
Also, congratulations to Annie on being appointed to the council tonight.
Thanks. I regretfully cannot give blood because I'm not eligible until May 29th. I did the one, okay.
So did I.
But that was a lot of fun, doing the mobile unit
Yeah.
last year.
I
Was
love-
really, it was very well organized.
It's gotta be about the same.
You can always stop and
Anybody
take a
else to
picture.
address council
Could do
from the
that.
public? Dave, no?
Dave?
No.
Anybody else? Okay, we'll close public addresses. No, mayor's not here at this point. Does anybody have any idea? Somebody said something about she was in Georgia.
Last I seen on social media, she was in Savannah, so.
Maintenance report. Yeah, they went through the, coal patch pretty quick. Had to buy that through,
You have to drive up to
Shingle House to, Wayne up there, cause, Hawbaker didn't have any made up yet, so I think we paid $20 a ton more for it. Was it?
I don't know, they told me it was a lot nicer than what they got
Yeah,
last
they
year.
liked it better than stuff we got before.
my understanding, Hotmaker didn't have any because of the ongoing sewer and water work in Eldred. They took
Oh,
all
I
that
don't know
to
why they
patch-
didn't have
yeah,
it.
They took all that to patch the saw cuts.
So they might have to get more from Wade.
They call that patched.
Well, it's not nice, but it's not
Well,
dirty.
they had to have something at the winter time to get in them, they couldn't use, they weren't making regular asphalt that time.
Well, I don't think anything there needs action, so I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, motion been made by Brett, second by Ona, everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, sewer maintenance report,
Well, it was gonna be nothing until this weekend, but then it rained. We did have one overflow for approximately an hour, hour and a half at the East End Pump Station due to the high volume, rain that we had. It was reported to DEP after it happened. The Eads group was notified shortly thereafter, and, we'll talk to Bo this week. We'll get everything wrote up and sent in to DEP. Just for reference, these overflows used to take days to correct, and now we're down to hours, so we're in the right direction. This afternoon, I got a phone call from Barbara about the situation up on McClellan Avenue, the sewer. One of the residents, I believe, up there, I'm not gonna say the address because it doesn't matter. Every time, it seems like the one restaurant fires up, soon thereafter, grease and things get pushed into the line and there's a problem. Usually Roto-Rooter is able to come and flush the line out, it's no problem. Roto-Rooter wasn't able to get it today, they were there for multiple hours. So I've contacted a new jetting service, M&B Jetting out of Bradford. They're gonna be here in the morning to try and jet it out where they have larger equipment, more line. Roto-Rooter running out 200 feet, was able to take care of it. They may have to get traffic control and have the Borough guys do some flagging tomorrow afternoon to access manhole in front of the bank, see what's going on. Hopefully it's just a grease issue, but it may be that we need to redo that small section line. There's only, I think there's 4 houses that tie to that run down to the bank. The rest of them head to the north side and then come down Fuller. So it is every 6 months, every year that we have this issue up here, but usually it's just grease gets in the line.
so it's in the
not.
front side of McClellan then?
How do you determine what that is, the problem?
Well,
Do
used
you
to
run
be
cameras or what?
no, when John Ball owned Roto-Rooter, you know, when he'd pull back the snake and see the grease and just, you know, you can understand that this is what the problem was. And this time they ran out 100 feet, run into something, run out again, got stuck at 75, run a cable out, got out there, then run the jetter out, 200. I'm hoping it's not a collapse, but normally something like that, you'd see a divot in the street or something, and we're not seeing anything. They said they pulled back a lot of trash, so it could be wipes, etc. I wasn't there. I marked it out and had it ready for them, hoping it would be quick, but it's not. There's no access point other than the manhole and Route 6. There should be some sort of clean out in the street, but basically we're using the Tasty Freeze clean out to jet the line.
With the grease, is it a grease trap issue that maybe would solve it or no?
Possibly, yeah.
Brett, who did you contact that's coming to Borough?
M&B, it's a
M&B?
a gentleman used to work for Pipeline, he bought his own.
Okay.
offshoot.
Okay,
That's right. Other than that, everything's been going good. We got a report back from DEP that there's no violations, any minor errors have been repaired, have been taken care of and brought up satisfactory. So, other than the copious amounts of rain that wreak havoc on everybody's system, business as usual. Hopefully we'll get, lawnmower today, because if it ever dries out, there'll be hay in. So, and that, nothing.
Okay, motion to accept the sewer maintenance report.
Motion.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Borough manager report.
Okay, I got posters out for the spring cleanup, 5 people signed up already. I forwarded you all the findings for the level 2 energy audit. They'll do a plan up within the next month, and then I'll forward it to you if you guys wanna do something with it, put some money in the building, or if you don't, that's fine too. I haven't advertised the 2006 F550 because we were waiting to get the clutch fan fixed. The guys thought maybe we could wait until after cleanup and use it for cleanup instead of the brand new truck, if the new truck is here. You know, it's kinda iffy. I received 2, well, I actually got 3 now, applications for the sewer seasonal employee position. They took all the applicants down to show them what they would be doing, so they would know that it's not just riding a lawnmower around. I did send the advertisement to both papers, sent it twice to the Kane Republican, but I got no response back to them. Maybe if there's someplace else I'm supposed to be sending it, I don't know.
We'll help you with it later.
I sent a letter to the owners of the post office building, about the retaining wall that collapsed onto the borough property, but, where we're gonna put the pocket park. I received an email from them today that they'll be sending someone out to fix it. I received a letter from Sherry Swanson about the condition of the sidewalks from Cameltown Road to Division Street. Forwarded all you guys that by email. The paperwork for the 2025 truck financing has all been completed and taken care of. And the Memorial Day parade permit has been applied for. And that's all I have.
What's going on with the sewer software?
What?
Sewer software, I've made a little bit of progress, but truth be told, it seems like it might be, we're gonna have to just upgrade. I have a feeling that's where it's gonna go.
What are you talking about?
So,
In the borough manager's report?
No,
it was just asking.
it's the old software that we used for billing that we don't have any support for.
So I've, been working with a buddy of mine that I think is a bit better at computers programming. We've narrowed it down to what it was originally programmed in. We're trying to break it apart because it's a packaged, executable file is what it's called. What that means is it just has, as you look into a file folder, it has DLLs, it has EXEs, it has, blah, blah, blah. Well, what the compiler does is it puts in, like other EXEs, other DLLs that will work with it, and that's just from the programming. It's like if you know anything about programming, it's like you'll do this thing called an include, and it puts it in there, blah, blah, blah. But we're trying to decompile it, and I'd like to give it another full month. We've made some strides, as I said, we learned what it was built in, so we might be able to go back. But if we don't get it this month, then I think it's just an upgrade time.
I know how I'd fix it, pickaxe.
Okay,
Also, why haven't we seen the quarterly updates with the budget like we have been?
That's my fault, I just haven't done it. Been busy. I'll get you one tomorrow, I'll make it out. I've had the grant and everything else that I'm taking care of.
No, I understand,
It's been
I'm
a little
just curious.
busy. I'm trying to hide anything from
okay, anything else on the borough manager's report? Not
I'll
ask for a
make the
motion.
motion.
Motion been made, second.
I'll second.
Jesse seconds. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Okay, approval of the minutes.
Motion.
Motion been made. Have a second. Second, Iona,
Who made it?
I did.
Brett,
Thanks.
everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Okay, approval of the treasury report and payment of bills.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I didn't realize, the Wapic dinner was in Youngsville. I don't know why I was thinking Johnsonburg or something, and it was,
That was
she
last
put that out.
That was last.
Yeah, I'm behind.
Maybe if you go to one of them, you wouldn't be so far behind.
Yeah.
He made it to the one in Jewett, he made it to the one in Kane.
Yep.
Did he make it to Smethport?
No, it's tough, cause they put them on Thursdays, and that's my scout night. And,
Take them all.
Yeah, there you go.
no, thank you.
Next meeting, 37 showing up.
Okay, motion been made, can I have a second?
Jesse already seconded.
Oh, Jesse did? Okay, motion been made, seconded, everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Okay, well, I usually forget here. The approval of the sewer department financial report and payment of bills. Anybody's wondering as far as that rebuilt pump for East End Pump Station, that was after they were down there putting the new one in, we had the one rebuilt. So we have a backup.
I'll motion for, sewer payment of bills and, financial report.
Second.
Okay, motion been made and seconded, everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Okay, committee reports. Rep, maintenance, streets and.
Yeah.
Bring up the-
So, looking at the financial report, we have $140,000 in the liquid fuel money. And Center Street's getting pretty shabby, starting to fall apart. And we had half of it paved when Aqua put the water line in. They did a poor job paving it, and the seam's starting to come apart. It's probably one of the most high volume streets to do it, just because everybody comes down to the post office and spins around the pole. It would have to be milled out, take it back down, brought back down. Huh? You don't come around the pole?
No, I've been around.
Alright, keep it clean. Anyhow, but, so hopefully we'll be able to get that milled out and, redone. So I wanna reach out to Sean Auguste. Probably should have been thinking about this in the end of winter, beginning of spring. We'd be lucky to get paved by, I think it's, second week of November is when PennDOT makes them shut down, depending on weather and temperature. So I'm gonna reach out to Sean, get a price, hopefully we can advertise it in, the June meeting and possibly accept any bids if we deem it, a good price in, July. Now, every year we put $10,000 towards highway construction as it is, and we haven't paved in quite a while, so the fund should be there. While we're on the paving project, what I would like to do, I don't know if everybody's looked at the fire hall driveway and seen how it's washing out and starting to deteriorate. They put in a massive concrete pad out there in front of their place so that they could sand it and have suitable areas to wash trucks out. I've seen the fire engine struggle to get up there a couple times in the winter. It's milled, but it's dirt, We can't really put in sand and salt because it'll start rutting it up. They're heavy trucks. So I'd like to get a price on milling down that area and, about 200 foot long, 20 foot wide, and then at the top, just match their concrete pads of like a 60. Yeah, their apron, it'd be like a 60 foot apron up there. Get a price, see what's gonna come back. I got it in my head, it'll probably be around $30,000, to take care of that. That, we can't use liquid fuel money on it, but we can use our highway construction funds on it, because it's not a borough street, but it is. While it's not borough property, it is. We have to, according to borough code, we have to provide fire coverage. We pay for the fire insurance, or the, vehicle insurance on the trucks. And if one would slide out and have an accident, we pay the workers' comp on all the firemen. So, one slides out, we don't properly maintain it, we're gonna be paying for it anyhow. So, I think that's a decent idea, so I'll get some prices and come back with that. Other streets do need done. Anderson Street's in bad shape, but that's also on the list for the Penvest loan for sewer. Barb and I put in for a grant for the drainage on it, cause the drainage is shot. So I mean, it's like a $500,000 or $1 million street. Last time we paved it in '06, it was $150,000. So it's probably gonna be 200-some thousand just to pave it, and there's no sense paving it unless we can get the infrastructure underneath it up to par, especially our, our catch basins, cause they're all sinking and falling apart. So I'll get some prices on that. Other than that, the guys, everything, the street, the truck's going well. We gotta talk to them. We know when Kane's street sweeper's coming.
Barb, or
Rick talked
Rick
to,
talked to the maintenance supervisor, and they were still trying to finish up some of their stuff in the streets, and Rick would get a contact him again
he did,
today.
Friday he did.
Oh, Friday.
And he told him that he was almost done with everything in Kane, and maybe this week or next he could bid over here.
Yeah. Rick
But
was gonna
their new
contact
machine
him
is
again
down
just to see
again.
if-
Their new machine is broken again, so they're using the old one.
That's great. I'm sure they're happy about that. Well, that kind of ties into Sherry Swanson's request for the letter. I talked to Brad Himes and Hazelhurst Fire Company, and he talked to the guys at Jewett Fire Company. As far as the bridge goes, they might be able to go up and just wash it off. As far as going and doing private individual sidewalks, maybe we can get a work crew together from a borough organization, but if we start sweeping individual sidewalks, they're gonna have us do it everywhere.
I thought she was talking more about the, poor shape it's in, the sidewalks.
Well, the poor shape, but she had called me and talked about the poor shape just of all the gravel and everything, making it uneasy to walk on, not, cause the bridge itself and from, Campbelltown Road up, it's actually in pretty good shape, other than a couple spots by Ryan Bright's house and,
When they put the bridge in, but that was all new concrete.
yeah. But what she had expressed was all the loose gravel on it, making it kinda hard walking down the hill. So I had asked Brad if, anyway, where there's no houses or yards, where if we could just blow it off, and if the street sweeper's coming, we get it onto the curb, they'll sweep it up. Now PennDOT always does the bridge deck, and they pay us, what, $1,000 a year or $2,000 to shovel off the sidewalk up there. So I asked Sherry, 'cause she works for PennDOT, I said, well, when PennDOT comes, maybe if our guys go up, just broom it off with the power broom, they could sweep it up. Oh, well, they've already done that. Well, it's your bridge. If you're gonna sweep the deck, why wouldn't you sweep the sidewalk? It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, they didn't do the sidewalk?
No,
and
they didn't do the
bridge?
sidewalk, they just did the deck
Oh,
itself.
I thought they did the bridge or the sidewalk
No.
too.
So, I don't know, I think if we could get the fire department to brush that off before the, street sweeper comes, they can pick up what's left. We got 2 full-time employees, but with the way it's been raining and the mowing and everything, and John's gonna spend half his time down to the, sewer pond until we get somebody who's down there helping out mowing, they don't have the time. That's all I got.
So I can offer our services. We have 3 people that need community hours in town that I can give them brooms and get them going out there if you want me to, for the coalition.
That'd be great.
Appreciate it.
I just need to know when the street sweeper's coming.
If they'll sweep them in the piles, the borough guys will take the piles and
Take it from
get rid of them, just like anybody else on Main Street. If you sweep your sidewalk and put it in a pile against the curb, the guys usually come and pick it up pretty quickly. Just don't do it on a Saturday or a Friday if it's gonna rain. It'll be in your storm drain, so.
All right, finance and insurance.
That's me. been looking at the situation with our, certificates of deposit. And, in June, we have $100,000 deposit that's coming to either have to turn over or whatever. My suggestion is that we take it and do like a $50,000 endowment to the library. And 20,000 of it would go to the fire hall as an endowment. And an endowment, they can not touch the money, but they can use the interest. So in the library's case especially, if they were able to use the interest off of that, maybe that would reduce our need as a council to pay their light bill and that sort of thing. And so it would be like a double advantage. And I think that we should put $20,000 into the park, doing the upgrades that we discussed last meeting and things that need to be done up there. And I believe that would benefit the community. I don't think that we should take this money and just blow it, but I think things that benefit the community. And that would leave 10,000, a little over 10,000 because of interest, that out of the 100,000. And I would suggest that we would put that into an account and get started with the surveying and initial paperwork with the garbage that you have to go through in order to get started to repave the sidewalk from Obert to Anderson.
That is the worst section of sidewalk
It
in
is,
town.
and it's a liability to the borough because Swedish festival time and everything, and even on regular days, that stretch of sidewalk is walked on. I mean, you see a lot of people walking on that, and I think that, we really should do that as quickly as we can, and I think that would get us a good start on it if we were to do that.
Well, that 10,000 would probably cover some engineering. I know from doing that sidewalk project on Main Street, if you get the state involved, it's just nightmares. But we'll still have to comply with the ADA. I'm sure it'll be over the bidding threshold. But if we use that to have our engineering firm come up with a scope of work and a plan so that anybody can bid, and we don't have to have the state bid it and follow all their silly change order rules, and it was a nightmare to get this done on Main Street. It would probably go smooth. We spent $250,000 in costs on that $1 million project, and I think we probably could have done the whole project for $350 if the state would have kept their nose out of it. It was just a big money pit, and any little change had to have 2 meetings and 17 emails and 3 engineering firms. So I think that would work well. I talked to Brianna about the park stuff. I went at the last meeting, you guys talked about a grant of, and the way she had talked was, maybe redoing the concession area and the bathrooms and everything, and
Yeah, we would actually
really
need
going
to
for the gusto.
bring in somebody to
Would be a man.
design it.
She said it was a match, I can't remember the percentage, but 20
15 was,
15%.
yeah, but that's,
20 grand would put you right around 100 grand. That would be a pretty sizable project. And it'd be there, I mean, you'd use it or just
Hang on to it, and
use it as your
Well,
match.
the thing is, the boosters would probably really love to have that concession stand in better shape.
One of those bathrooms, it's a, some of them have 2 bathrooms, with 2 toilets, because there's not even
Yeah.
not even a barricade in between them. They've been the same since I've been a kid, probably, almost 40 years ago, so probably due for an upgrade. And I told Brianna, if you go to Wilcox and you look at their concession stand, it's a big pavilion built on the front of it, with a nice concession stand, so it's all undercover, plus the bathrooms, so if it's raining, people got a place to be out, and that'd be something nice, and we already had it surveyed, and all that scrub brush there by Gino's White House, that's all ours, so there's plenty of room there, and we own half of Gino's backyard, almost part of the swimming pool, so,
But they got the batting cage on that side.
well, your batting cage used to be on the other side. They moved that in recent years, so it's not like it's a,
Oh, okay. I
you know,
wasn't sure.
yeah, it used to be on the other side by the Cleveland Canal.
Or pitching, whatever it is.
Yeah,
I don't
a
know.
batting cage. But, you know, so that would be a good thing. And then, fire department library, we've had this money for over a decade. We've made good interest on it. You know, give back, support a bunch of causes that we don't have in the budget to supplement. I'm all right with it.
So
I particularly like the endowment.
you're saying the 50,000, but that'll go into their current endowment, right?
Well,
For the library? We wouldn't be creating a second one.
No.
Just go in.
And what about the fire department? Can we actually add it to their current endowment? I think they still have one.
Yeah, they do for,
That's Cleveland, I don't know, you'd have to talk to John Peterson, but at least. we
I
can
mean,
gift
I don't
him-
know what it costs to set up the endowment. It might be a couple $100, I don't know.
Gift him a CD or something, you know, I don't know, it might be something we have to talk to John about, but I don't think. they're
Well, if
gonna
you don't
turn
want
my
him to
money.
use it,
right,
yeah,
I think it needs to be put into a
yeah.
endowment type of.
Can I put something in there? The fire department, I understand, needs hose bad, from what I understand. That might be a way to consider how some of it to go towards new hose. They said, I've heard from several people that the hose that they have is going real bad.
Well, it has to be tested,
There's
well,
been
they
a-
can't do the job. I prefer it to stay and not go away, but just like here, we weren't able to tie up our money because different councils can change their mind and vote to send it, because initially it was supposed to be a trust that couldn't be broken, and our attorney said we couldn't do that. So, any change in,
And it got moved from what, one bank to another?
we moved from FMB to CMB, and that
But I
move
thought
was,
FMB was paying fairly well.
they were, but they wouldn't come have a meeting with us.
Oh,
We had a change of council, some turnover, and not everybody understood the intricacies, and we asked them to come up and sit down with us and have a meeting. And they said, well, it's $500,000, and we thought it was a pretty good investment. Yeah, we're not driving up there for that, so, okay, I guess we'll go with one from Kenny, so. But,
anyway, do I need to make a motion?
yeah.
Well, yeah.
Is that, okay,
But I mean, as far as
the fire department.
the
I
fire
thought-
department, we need, I mean, if we're gonna motion it to be put into
an endowment?
an endowment again, or, you know, with them, whether it could be added to the Gale Cleveland one or not.
So we're not going to
Well-
entertain the fire hose?
I think it's a good idea, I think, you know, they're their own organization, the library has an endowment, the fire department chooses to take their money, and I would say that we give it to them with the hopes that they'll put it into long-term savings and investment, but if they don't, and they choose, if they have pressing needs, that's what they have a board for, you know what I mean?
Incidentally, Hamlet Bank has a 4.5% CD right now for 30 months. It's the best CD that I've found in the area,
Their
by almost by a percentage point.
treasurer's a bank manager with the bank, so if they decide to do it, I don't think it's a bad idea, if they decide they wanna spend it and they need it, pressing needs, okay,
So
hopefully
we're
they'll.
not worried about having that, being said to put in an endowment then, if that's the case.
I would say,
Hand
So
it
just
over to
as a-
John and.
with the wishes that they do that, but if they need it,
Give
they
it
need
to
it.
them with that stipulation.
Yeah.
They need new hose, put it in a new hose.
Just let us know what you did with it.
You have a right to do that.
Yeah, I think they should let us know what they do with it. I mean,
Beer.
That way they're sure that's where it's gonna go.
How do you wanna make your motion, Alan?
well, I make a motion that we cash this CD in and do the endowment for the library and 20 for the fire hall and 20 for the parks department, and then put the rest in towards that sidewalk project. We've had the money long enough, I think that we haven't had to touch it. And I think that that's you know, the,
You get that, Barbara, understand it?
Got it?
Okay, motion been made, need a second.
I'll second.
Who seconded it?
Gotcha.
Oh, Jesse. Motion been made and seconded. Everybody in favor, say aye.
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 I'll abstain. Courtney works for the library, and I'm already paying off one ethics fund, so.
so we need somebody after a while.
Apparently.
Barb, I wanna back that up, and I want a roll call vote, please.
Okay. Owner,
What's that?
Yes.
Jesse,
Yes.
Brett abstained, Tom,
Yes,
Frank,
Yes.
Jane,
Yes.
okay.
okay. There's no nay votes against it, so the motion will carry.
Before we move on that, with the park, do we have a park account?
We
No.
used to, but we'll set one up.
I say we probably ought to set one up.
What
so
we'll
that-
do
I
is
think
we'll
we
set
got
up
rid
a
of that
park
years ago.
savings
No, there was
account.
like a big $800 or something.
Oh.
It got thrown into,
There was like 1,200 there,
Whatever it
and they
was.
closed all those little accounts. I wasn't here when they did that.
Right.
I think that's when they actually had a park
That
committee,
was
but
done
that
when I was,
wasn't, that wasn't a part of council.
Right, that was a.
no, we had a park savings.
I get that,
But when
was it?
Teresa was here, she took all those little savings accounts and put them all into a big account. So I don't know what exactly was in it.
Okay. I think it'd be wise with that 20 grand to just start its own
Savings account.
savings account. Or
Yep.
because we're gonna have to plan this out.
Right.
I mean, is Pliget still getting good interest?
Yes,
Could you start a
yes, another
Pliget
quick.
account through
Yes.
there, cause if it's getting the good interest, and you can get checks out of there too, or just transfer
Yes.
it into the general. That's what
We
I-
can do that.
Okay, personnel, Jesse?
If it's possible, I'd like to move personnel below sewer operations, just to put them together, because they kind of tie in my
Oh, okay.
report.
Okay, community development, planning and parks.
What you got, Jamie?
I got some quotes for, they aren't like official quotes, but when I was talking to Trudy from, Powell's over in Payne, first she said that, she was guessing around 10 tons of 2A limestone at 44 a ton for up there at the park by the ball field. You haul yourself and pick up. She said if you can't haul 10 tons, Cody Wilson can, and he buys from us, and gave me his phone number. And then she messaged me back later on and said, just giving you a heads up, John Hydock was in the pit today and he said East Branch Dam is selling 2A limestone for 22 a ton. That would be your best bet. Get him to haul it and use that, so.
Where was that at, that he was getting it?
East Branch Dam,
Leftover stuff from the project.
so there's that.
I know that,
Is it something we're gonna wanna hold off on now since we're,
Yeah,
Well,
well,
that's what, you know,
yeah, cause even with the quote that I got of the 5586 or something that it was to do that area in
Right.
2A, we may really wanna seriously bring an engineer in
right, well, at least
and maybe
hold on, cause you're gonna
include,
be wasting
the
that if
boosters.
we're moving that.
do we wanna include the boosters?
they would hurt.
Yeah,
I mean, cause they may have ideas that they just couldn't afford yet.
Yeah, they can't work with, they can't work with it. They can't replace their building.
Yeah,
Maybe they can know what they work there every day, they might know what they need as opposed to what they have.
hold off, and then
I'll have to reach out to,
them and,
That limestone, I'll talk to Jones Township, I know they were getting some of it and see if it, how much is available, because that, just from a borough perspective, to have material laying around to patch dirt roads, stuff for that price a ton.
I don't know whether you can keep it out of
See
paper.
who to get in contact with and how we get some, 'cause that,
I'll make a comment about the stone. I would highly encourage you to look into the, stuff from the dam, just because it's, reclaimed stone, and I'm gonna upgrade a yard that's in Lance Corners, and the difference is you're getting true limestone. It originated from Tyrone, just in a limestone quarry, so there's a huge difference in longevity between that and sandstone. Sandstone, if it's not just used as a base, it doesn't have the longevity of limestone. So I would estimate you're probably gonna have about $15 in trucking. So you're still gonna be right around that $39 to $40, and it's no comparison whatsoever in quality. They have scales, they're open a couple days a week, and they have hundreds of loads, and I know that because I get a monthly update on what's available. So I'm just putting my 2 cents in. I wasn't planning on speaking, but there would be no decision for me if I was going to look at dollars for dollars and quality for
So
quality.
it's no official bidding process, you just go there and buy what you want.
Yes,
Which means other people know that too.
yes, yeah. It's so much a ton, and it doesn't matter if you're Jane or you're Joe. So,
Jane?
We discussed some for Hamlet last week.
I didn't realize that, that's good.
Probably
Good
gonna
to
have to
know.
move pretty fast.
Well, that's the thing,
We'll be gone.
I mean, we have,
Now everybody knows.
Yeah.
Well, we probably might not even go that route now.
oh yeah, but just to have a
Oh,
couple
yeah.
tracks or loads
Couple
around.
tracks,
It'd be nice
loads
to have in case.
You'll
It would
always
be.
be able to use it.
That'd be borough, not parks money, that'd be borough money.
Right.
It's probably a savings of, somewhere around $20 a ton, because you would have, if you went and picked it up, you would have another 20-some dollars a ton in trucking it from Tyrone. So it's a real deal. The Hobakers purchased all of the stone, and there's enough of it that they installed instead of scales. So.
I think it'd be a good idea to at least go out and get 2 or 3 tracks of loads. We don't have many dirt streets, but it'd be good for patching them on there.
Yeah, 'cause she quoted me 44 a ton where you haul it yourself.
Right.
And 22, I mean, that's half,
Yeah.
so.
And I know we have money set aside in the budget for highway supplies, so I would make a motion that we get 4 tracks of loads. And we just have to contact, I know Rich Van Holtz has tracks, or whoever, there's companies that'll go get it. If you wait, it'll be gone.
Right.
I'll second the motion.
Motion been made and seconded to get 4 triaxle loads of limestone from the dam down there. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Alright.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried.
Be like,
Anything
ran around
else?
80 tons.
Anything else, Frank, from the parks then? We'll just get started on that and.
Yeah, that'll probably end up being like a next spring project.
Right. Right, it won't end up.
I'll get Dave the contact information from, there's one guy that, his name is John Reese, that does all of
Who should we use as an engineer?
as far as the contact person for the stone.
Okay.
And I can get that to
He's
Dave.
got my numbers.
You got his number.
Thanks.
I know we already have a
Use,
deal with
use,
Eads Group.
just Eads, who would you contact?
You can get a hold of Marty and there's different departments down there, but he can send you to the right one.
Alright, well, first I gotta talk to the boosters.
Yeah, okay.
The president is still, what's her name?
Sky?
Sky, right?
And Charles Hamilton is up there too. I think he's executive.
He said Charlie Grove was involved.
Please don't put that.
Okay.
What he says.
Okay, anything else under the?
Don't
No,
make
I
us
don't
like.
Think so, I mean, somebody
Oh, yeah.
said there's a light in the back of the park that's not working. I don't remember seeing a light.
Must be the big floodlight behind the pavilion.
Guess, I don't know.
I've talked to the guys about it, because I know they've replaced it a couple times. It's a dusk till dawn.
What's that?
Big floodlight. They said there's a a light in the back of the park that's not working. The only one I know of is that big floodlight on the pole behind the old pavilion up on the hill. Might not be where I know the guys have.
The electric.
Oh,
But
that's
the
right,
electric-
that's right, I forgot about that, that electric got clipped and Tom wanted to fix it, I think it was like $1,300 or $1,400 to fix the electrical right, and we never did anything with it,
Right.
because.
But if we're gonna develop in that area,
Well,
we might
absolutely.
wanna consider
Yeah.
including that.
Including it, but wait, I mean, there's no sense doing anything with it right now then.
No,
If they're tearing down that building and putting in a new one or whatever you guys wanna do, it'd be an electrical upgrade anyhow involved in that, so. Yeah, that's
Right.
right, I can't remember if they hit that.
All right, the one thing on the parks, today, they took a, semi-truck up around there with a load of chips and stuff. And seeing the, damage that they did to the or the,
Track.
the grass area and the, stuff we put around the edges there.
Who took out?
Whoever the company is that's putting the swing set in, or putting the swings and stuff in, what's their name?
I didn't even know he was installing it yet, so I apologize.
Well, they dumped a bunch of mulch up there today.
Yeah, dumped,
He said he would be
or
back.
chips or mulch,
I
whatever.
thought he said Friday.
Just let me know how much the damage is, and then I can bring it up to him.
Well, I just figured have them repair it,
Yeah.
that'd be the best thing to do.
Yeah. Rick's got, I've
But I
got
wanna bring
pictures I
that
can
to the
send you.
attention of the
Yeah, if you
council.
can send me pictures.
Yeah,
we can address
yeah, he sent me pictures earlier and I was pretty tied up, I just didn't have, other than just to glance at them real quick, but it looked like it, you know, got some pretty good rights there to take care of.
I'll send them to you.
What's the company's name that's doing that?
I knew you were gonna ask me that.
Remember Barb, what Rick said, the truck said?
I have them, hold on.
I don't remember.
Sports and Recreation Associates. But I don't know if that's the company that delivered the mulch or not, but that's the company I got paperwork from, so that's who I'm talking with, from Apollo, Pennsylvania.
Did they have some kind of bond that they had to,
Local
like a
delivery.
road?
No, local delivery doesn't apply.
Oh,
It was almost, when Rick called me, it was almost too late to even try, cause they had already went up, Gallup Avenue and was up to the park by the time he got up there, and they'd already went around the asphalt we put in for the walking, or the trail around it, and was backing up and dumping it, and that's.
Well, that's why we put it with the amount of base and the top in it, so that it can handle
Right.
heavier load.
But I meant as far as the side where they had to back off of it to dump it,
Yeah.
tore it up pretty good.
Faux pas, but what are you gonna do? Get the contact and see if we can fix it.
All right, fire department. Thought Scott might be here, but.
I can put it, am I allowed to
Alright.
talk?
Yeah,
Alright.
sure.
You just can't vote.
So, I've been an active member of the fire department for the last 4 years. I'm also the department secretary, so if we need somebody on the fire department committee, obviously that's pretty easy for me to do. But anyway,
I'll probably put you on there.
I will. But we had our banquet on the 26th. It was well attended. I would like to see, just in my own personal opinion, not speaking for the department, but I do understand that there were some problems with the invitations going out, trying to figure out who life members were, and Kelly was helping quite a bit with trying to figure that out, but I think that, for next year's event, I think it would be nice to just start fresh and have everybody that, you know, has been a life member, let's just kind of like start fresh and invite everybody. That's just my, again, personal opinion, not speaking for the department, so. But it was very nice. We honored Beans Gustafson for 54 years of service. Martin Causer was there.
Our coroner was there.
Yes, we had a lot of different dignitaries there. Just department business on its own. We do have the gun bash coming up this Saturday. So we have a pre-planning meeting going on tomorrow night at 7. If anybody's looking to help out, we can always use extra hands. I mean, we're not gonna turn down help, but we still have tickets available at the door. They're $10. And then we've had a lot of great things going on with the fundraising committee. I'm sure you guys are watching the raffles and such on social media. Those have been going really well. And then a goal that we're working towards is getting a UTV. One of the nice things about having, you know, like for land rescue and such,
Right.
and on the trail, but having Martin Causer there, he had spoken to Chief Reynolds and seems to be very much in our corner, trying to help us get that piece of equipment through whatever means he can help us with. So that was pretty cool. So that's my report.
I have a question. Can I? Because we don't have a public comment period after.
Speaking, no, I'm not.
for the fire department,
For them?
about, yeah. Have they updated their list for the people on, that need oxygen when we have power outage? CPAP machines and oxygen, they had a list that they were gonna get updated.
That's between the mayor and them to get
Yeah,
that
that's part
for
of
the emergency
services.
management.
Yeah,
That's gotta be done with the mayor and the,
Beans and
uh,
Brianna.
Okay.
emergency management or the fire department would work
Okay.
on that, as
I'll
far as
ask
letting you
her.
know how that works, as far as, and she was working on some stuff at one point. I'm glad you brought that up, cause I don't know where she stands with some of it now, so.
Alright, thank you.
Anything else, Annie?
Oh, that's it.
Did, Sky happen to mention when he was gonna try to be able to get back on putting the house numbers down on the east end and on the north side of the east end?
Probably right after the gun bash, cause that's.
I figure he's held up with that. I know he has, he takes care of a lot of that.
Yeah, he has that up.
Okay, library, Barb, I couldn't make the last meeting because I was, helping the Rotary stuff Easter eggs for our Easter egg hunt for the community, so I didn't make the meeting.
Yeah, I was there. There wasn't a whole lot. She went over not fundraisers, programs that she was gonna do. It's not, I mean, wasn't a whole lot that we,
Alright, I didn't know. I just figured I better bring it up in case there's something I was supposed to be
nothing
brought up.
major.
Get the electrical set up?
Hmm?
Get the
Yes.
electrical moved? Okay.
Yeah, there was a new hot water tank put in. They moved that. We
Yeah.
discussed that last month.
That was last month.
Yeah.
I put that in, left a message with Tom that, you know, that's, it was his, it could be done, it was approved. Okay, anything under code enforcement?
Took care of getting that house taken down on Brennan. I had to get a hold of Russ Braun for a letter to be sent. Sent a couple other letters. I have one to take care of for garbage tomorrow. People accumulating garbage at their homes. Other than that, I don't have anything. As always, if anybody has something they need taken care of with their neighbor or whatever, just give me a call here and I'll make sure a letter gets out and we can pursue it.
Alright, now we'll go back to personnel and the sewer operations, Jesse.
I'll start with sewer. I told you guys last month that Mr. English would be here. I think he seems to be missing, but I talked to him today just to first confirm that he was coming today. He said no, he did have something come up. So I just kind of had a quick meeting with him about what's going on with our engineering updates. He said he is slightly behind due to his surveying. I guess it's a subcontractor, I expect, being a bit behind, but they've started as of Friday. And they're going to start working in their engineering as they get information from the survey team. The survey team started on Friday. I believe they may have talked to Brett or Barb, Marty had said.
They came in here.
Okay. So I asked him, since he is a little bit behind, is that gonna affect the October submittal / Penvest intention of application? He said no, they should be able to catch this time up. It's worth noting that approximately 2 weeks ago, the aeration boats were put into Lagoon 1 and running.
They were always there. They just returned on.
Oh, okay. And so the biggest portion of this is we had 2 trail cameras that were found in close proximity to the front gate, and one that was in close proximity to the chlorine building. We called the state police to ask them as a witness and to guide us as to what we were able to do. He said we could take all 3 down. The 2 outside were within Borough right of way, so we took those down as well. We told the police we were pretty sure it may have been, Mr. Hydock. We gave him information to contact Mr. Hydock. Mr. Hydock did say that they were his cameras. They've come and, collected them. Mr. Hydock said he had not been on the property since December 16th. So that goes after we talked about in March the restriction of private citizens accessing the sewer system. He said he couldn't get the camera from the chlorine building because it was on there, so he'd then be trespassing, which makes sense. But I think it's something that he should have talked to us about as the council to take it down for him, so we got it back. I don't think that shows very high moral fiber of him to not have told us that that was there.
Well, we don't need to interject with personal opinions, we'll just stick to what happened.
Good point.
So from there, the other thing that I thought of, I remember going over this in my water and wastewater classes. Around 9/11, Homeland Security started suggesting that utilities be fenced due to potential terrorist attacks. It's also furthered by the forest rangers, as if animals get into the lagoons, we could be fined for that. I'd like to suggest we get a quote for fencing the entirety of the sewer system. And that kind of concludes sewer. I guess the only thing for personnel is that the all the personnel workers, all the borough workers are very much concerned about a private citizen surveilling them. So, I would like to ask if
I have no concerns with that.
if we can.
You got a sign up that says video surveillance.
And,
But-
you know, if we're gonna get into liabilities, I've had some comments from the public that, I'm not going to bring it up right now in detail, but I have had some comments from the public about something that could be a very serious liability for the borough. And it seems to be common knowledge amongst many people, but it's getting, kind of swept under the rug. So I think before we start pointing fingers at the public and making them seem like the biggest liability, we need to look within and make sure that we're conducting ourselves the way we should be.
I would like to also suggest we have an executive
Yeah,
session
I was
after.
going to bring that
this
up
evening.
because I'm not gonna say it in here, 'cause it is a pretty serious allegation and a very big liability.
Okay, for personnel, Jesse?
It was just a comment that the borough workers are very concerned about a private citizen surveilling them.
Yeah, but also as far as for hiring, do we need a executive session to discuss any of the ones that put the names in?
We had 3, and I think we only had 1 come back that they were still interested, so I think that's, I mean, we can do that in executive decision or
I
a
don't know
session.
that that needs to be an executive session, it's just, you have 1 person interested out of 3 applicants, you gotta get mowing, so.
We
You need
actually
your
had,
shot first.
we actually had 3 applicants. One person said they were no longer interested when they were shown it.
Okay.
But you guys were given, the personnel
There-
committee was given the application.
Was there a recommendation
What?
from?
I said scared them off right in the proper, didn't you?
Well, you don't wanna hire somebody and then them go, oh, I can't do that.
Just gotta go, time up.
Let's get somebody.
Well, it's gonna be
hired to mow.
fenced in.
Yeah,
You put a
that's
bunch of
true.
goats in there.
I responded in the support of who,
How many animals do we have?
Alright.
How many animals end up in that
Yes.
pond in a year, in any 12 months?
Well, the geese always land.
You have a
Well,
recommendation
they-
for who
yeah,
you'd like to hire?
They're supposed,
I don't
you know,
remember
they
his
can
name.
handle
I
it,
sent the email, I can look it up real
you
quick.
know.
Alex Matt,
but he saw it and he's still willing, so I would say that Alex Lampman would be.
This is for part-time, for
Yeah,
summer.
seasonal mom.
Yeah, he works part-time at the pizza shop, so he's trying to find something mainly in the mornings, and that's where we need somebody, is the morning hours.
What's his name?
Alex Lampman. Well, I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion been made, seconded to hire Alex
Lampman,
Lampman. Didn't know what his last name.
Lampman.
To do the part-time work at the sewer ponds, summer help. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Okay,
Motion
can you
carried.
give me a start rate?
What we paid last?
I think last year they were paying 12. Stay at 12?
We have a problem with what they were
okay?
paying before? Good to me.
Is it okay for him to start tomorrow?
Well,
Or
get him
immediately?
scheduled for a shot.
Well, yeah, we'll get him up
They
there
need to get
tomorrow.
them down there to show them and get things, what's,
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
we can mow the grass without a shot, just don't have a weed whacker around the pond before the, of course, it's supposed to rain tomorrow, I think.
well, I'll get a hold of him because he's got paperwork to fill out too.
So what about the fence?
I would like to get a quote, I know it's gonna be expensive, I wouldn't be surprised if it's $100,000.
How
But
many
we actually-
animals do we have in there in any given 12-month period?
We have
How big of
ducks,
a?
geese and stuff like that all the time.
Deer.
Animals
but I
isn't
don't-
why.
Well,
Deer,
they're
I
not
heard.
endangered.
We're mostly
You
concerned
mean you
about,
wanna keep animals out that are in danger of drowning?
yes,
Or,
Well,
geese don't drown very often.
No,
do
I
they?
agree. but you just asked
got
wildlife at first,
three
just to be
open-
clear.
Yeah, but I'm just
Well,
asking how many
they're gonna go over the fence.
geese are just gonna, and how high does the fence have to be to keep deer out? Woodchucks and rabbits and stuff can go under, you know, it's,
I
If you wanna
mean,
get a price, that's fine, get a price, I don't know that, you know,
I'm just saying it's a recommendation, it's not required.
I don't.
I don't see
I
anything
don't-
wrong with getting a price.
right, I'm
No.
just saying, it wouldn't hurt to get a price.
Has
I
that
don't-
land been surveyed? Do we
Well,
actually
yeah,
know
if
where
it's-
those
Yes,
cars
I
are?
believe there is a survey.
I think it was surveyed when they did the pole, when they put in the tower.
Okay.
I know several years ago when Rod was here, there were kids out there on the ice, on the ponds, in the middle of winter.
I've heard people
Yeah.
ride their
And
bikes through
so
there.
there's a
They
thing where if the
damaged
kids,
it,
you don't know
damaged
what
it.
kids, they look at that, they go, oh, I'm gonna go play on that. Next thing you know, here you're under the ice and they're drowned.
they do the same thing in the road here, you know?
Well, that's what I
Parents are
mean.
right there and the kids are out in the road and you're sitting there like, somebody tell your kids to move?
Get the price, never hurt anybody.
Nope.
Well, that's,
No, it doesn't hurt anything, but I don't think wildlife is the main concern with this fence.
We'll get a,
It is a public hazard.
yeah, I mean,
Especially with the
I do
kids.
remember now they're saying about kids down there
Mm-hmm.
skating on it and stuff, but
I pulled a couple
They
dogs
in the
out.
Coke pond, that's nice.
I should get a quote, Jesse. Or quotes, whatever you have to. Okay, so you need an executive session, you say?
Well, we wait till the end of
Animals
the,
can't-
say at
what's
the
their
end of the
animals
meeting.
can't read no trespassing signs.
All right, old business, plaque for park. Oh, and you said you talked,
Yeah, I talked to
Alicia?
Alicia and, she said that, they would be perfectly tickle pink with just the same small, you know,
In
same
memory.
size. It should say Dana Paulson Memorial Park and not,
In memory of or anything.
well, yeah, but I'm just saying, because before I think it said field.
and then
And,
it was a
and
field
it
or something,
should
I
say
think it
park
said
because
before.
it's expanded to where it's used for a lot more than
Yeah,
just the
it's just a baseball field.
baseball field.
We
is
gonna-
that all she wants on it then, or?
Yeah, just in memory of Dana Paulson,
And just plaque on a stick.
just wherever it was, yeah.
Well, it used to be
It used to be a
like,
big scoreboard.
it was a big scoreboard.
But yeah,
But the
just,
flag was just small,
Yeah, you just little plaque,
yeah.
put it over by the,
Is that the
what?
community?
did you contact somebody as far as those plaques? you
I
said?
just, somebody online real
Oh.
quick, that was all it was, cause we didn't know what we were doing, how we were doing it, and it was just a general price.
Probably get the same people that make the plaques for the Heritage Park.
True.
you could maybe even put it, well, if you're putting it up temporarily, you could put it on a stake, as you say. But maybe if you go into the building of a nice new building, maybe it could just
Would be right on the building.
be out right on the building.
Well, it could be put on a post, a 4x4 or something at an angle, and then
Yeah.
later on, it could be taken off and put on.
Yeah.
Stick stone, you have that in there. I like stones.
Alright, so we're spending money, should have
And we just got, we need a price, that's the thing,
Yeah.
I mean, we just, Barb, maybe you can look up the people that we,
Will do.
got and get a couple flavors of
Yep.
sizes and materials.
I'll do it, send them to you.
Good. Alright,
I have a question. A few months back, it was discussed about putting horse posts along the library. Did anything go with that?
The fire department took it over.
So nothing happened, huh?
Tabled.
Well, it'd be interesting to see what happened if the horses were there when the whistle went off.
Well, you can tell where they park at Dollar General, cause nobody ever cleans it up.
Well, Dollar General, they should take it and put it in the holes.
Oh, those holes are supposed to get filled
The
this
limestone,
spring.
with the limestone.
No, I don't know.
Really?
One of the workers said that the corporate, I guess, was taking care of that or something.
okay, we'll go to new business, Borough Code / Hamlin Township sewer rates.
Did we hear anything on that?
Barb, do you have?
All I heard back from the solicitor, he wanted to know if we had a contract with Hamlin Township. And if we did, he wanted a copy of it, and that's the last I heard. And I told him, yes, we do, and I sent him the contract that was signed. And that contract is in place until their loans are paid off. That's how long, I mean, it states right in there that we have to honor it until, but I haven't heard anything more from him, so I don't know.
We do or the authority does?
We do, but we assume the authority.
But we're no longer the authority.
But when you took
That's
this,
why we got a hold of the attorney, cause
Yeah.
we don't know.
We don't know.
well, I'll tell you what, when we took the water back over, we assumed all the contracts the water had.
So we'll wait for legal counsel to render an opinion, cause we don't know.
Alright, number 2, formal amendment for the DCNR grant to remove the comfort station and installation of utilities. You have to have
What happened with that? That handicap parking spot took up the space for the,
yeah, I don't know,
comfort?
whoever, when they designed that.
Well, no, I'll tell you what happened, is we had to change the way that the handicap parking lot sat. We originally had it that the bathrooms are gonna be here and that would be over there, but we can't do it that way because we have to follow our zoning. So we have to have 5 feet from his property, which meant that our handicap thing had to go over here. So then we didn't have room for the bathroom any longer. But I've discussed it with both of the grants and neither one said that the grant was issued because of that. And
No,
that it
it
was
wasn't. It was
perfectly
just-
fine to do that.
a
And,
lot of people were hoping for it. It's
and
kind
the
of a
utilities.
disappointment.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Well, hopefully the trail club, I mean, there's, I don't know what type of room that they have, with, of course, that,
Well, they wanted to put one down there, what was that, Cushicqua or something like
Lumber.
that?
On Hacker Street.
Hacker Street.
Yeah,
The sewer line's right there.
you
And
said
they-
that.
And they do have line, and there's one right here on, that crosses Lumber Street on this side. And, but there just doesn't seem to be the room there, but I don't, if you have to go into ADA bathrooms, as I'm sure you will, with the wide stalls and the handicap parking spot and everything they're gonna make you do, I think the place for them to try and get it is down by the Keystone. You know, take a little bit of your extra parking spot there, but you should be able to do it. You know, that sewer line runs right there where that little,
And the water,
road crosses. Yeah, the water line, it, runs right down the side of the street, there's actually a fire hydrant right in front of the Keystone.
Okay.
So it's more accessible there, and it makes a lot more sense, cause it seems that trail clubs are eligible to get quite a bit of grant money,
For the most part.
so. There should be no zoning restriction there. So,
All right, as far as that amendment, Barb, what do we just vote on to,
Yeah, you have to have a motion and a second, and then you guys will have to, you know, yes or no's.
I'll make a motion.
okay, a motion to make a formal amendment for that grant, for the, taking the bathrooms out. Need a second on that?
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we already did the hiring of a seasonal sewer employee. Okay, at this time, we close the regular meeting to go into an executive session and, close it when we come out.
Got more above and hang out, it's pretty well over, so.